Welcome to Unmuzzle Chat. Guys, wasn't that last episode freaking a bombshell? I freaking love this Ivan Raiklin fella. I've been doing more deep dives, pulling up more of his content. That's a man's man. Clearly out there on the front lines on behalf of all of us and our freedoms and ruling out this corruption. There is so much going on in the world today that evil is intentionally thrown out there to get us all blinded and ineffective on focusing at the real issues at hand. And the real issues at hand are what are diminishing our abilities and the corruption that isn't allowing us to see clearly, because we must, quite simply, we must clear out the smoke in order, which is ruin out all the corrupt individuals. Like, how exciting that Elon Musk getting Twitter doesn't just essentially liberate it and allow us to use one of the mega platforms to get the word out and spread truth, but that it also gave him and certain individuals access behind the scenes to basically acquire the evidence behind this network of evil. And then thirdly, provide a main channel for us to stream live. I just love everything Ivan Raiklin was going over. It all makes sense to me. It excites me. And whatever I could freaking do to help further that along. In the end of it, he says, stand by. Well, we've stood by for quite some time. And I say, let's freaking go. So we could support him by likes, follows, comments, saying we're all ready. He's got our support. By blowing up this channel so we can essentially do that for him as well. I mean, we get this channel to a point, we can get his voice out on this platform as well, or be the voice for him in a leg of organization and everything too. And it's not just for him, it's for us. In lieu of last episode, I'd like to pose a thought experiment, or maybe better put, exercise. What do you suppose the response would be to these elites, globalists, cabal, deep state, court justices, folks in the government? I mean, all the corrupt politicians, bribe-taking, sociopathic, narcissistic, genocidal, demonic individuals. What do you suppose they're going to do when they start getting locked up? What do you suppose the World Economic Forum, the WHO, the three-letter agencies, those Supreme Court justices, anyone and everyone, they have the receipts. They have the dirt. They know where the bodies are buried, so to speak. I mean, Trump said they have it all. Ivan Raiklin he's working under General Flynn. I believe they have an astronomical amount of information and fulfill indictments, create new ones, base things on facts. And when individuals, he was talking about the three legs or the multiple legs, right? Gosh dang, I should have rewatched it right before this episode again. But it's going to take a whole village, undoubtedly, to decipher, go through all the information, get what they need on individuals, and then the calls to action and assembling individuals to go get them, lock them up, But I want you to think about, what do you suppose? I mean, we'll just wrap it up under these evil individuals, especially the rulers. Are we going to be able to go after out the gate? The ones highest up on the ladder, so to speak? It'd be ideal. We can't just go locking up the replaceables. We got to rule out all corruption, top down, ideally, which to me would include the Fed, the corrupt tax system, the IRS. But I digress. What do you suppose they're going to do? Sure, they're going to use their bullhorn. They're going to do what they can to evoke civil war, essentially. Will that be effective? I mean, truly, they set the precedents. And if we, as in everyone involved, is going about it effectively on providing the receipts, airing things, and things are being justly done, what ground do they have to stand on at the end of the day? They set the precedents. So if somehow we're able to keep a level of calm and civil order during said raids, action simply proving that nobody is above the law, as they have stated, calm down. Nobody's above the law. Look what we have on this individual. We're going to do some inquiries, or we're going to lock them up, or we're taking them to the gallows. You know, when it comes to, I have no tolerance for those individuals that have gone after children. And it's sad and it's sick. A lot of these elitists and ones at the top, there's a lot of evil that has been done for bribery and everything. Think about Epstein. Think about the ties there. Think about that list Maxwell had. Could that be part of who they're going after? I sure hope so. But with all the receipts and live streams, wouldn't that quelch civil war? What other hand do you suppose evil's going to play? Sure, they can unleash more biowarfare, but that's slow. That's not going to keep them. If you were to ask me personally, it doesn't seem if this takes place. It's more so when, with the standby. I believe they would want to knock out the grid. Wouldn't that make the most sense? That would entirely disrupt the ability to continue to be organized and get more organized, not just in singular states, but across the nation and clean house. Because it's not just in Washington, D.C. We must clean house across our whole nation. And I sure hope the list, everything they're going for, involves everyone that was part of that genocidal bioweapon jab. So how did they take out the whole grid? EMPs. It's no joke, folks. You don't have to get the EMP product through Unmuzzled Chat. Just make that investment. If you want to use our link and benefit from the $50 discount, great. That is a means of supporting us, and we do appreciate that. But I'm telling you, I mean it. It's more important to me that you just get it and are prepared. I do believe it to be the singular greatest preparation any one of us could do to get that on our vehicles. Okay, moving past all that excitement, it's cool to see that there's more people standing up in such profound ways across the globe, the world. Should we stay away from globe? because it's like that word's getting tainted with globalists. So across the world, I mean, there's great things happening. And there's some key individuals that are just leading by example. And it's beyond admirable. I have the utmost respect for these individuals. Like, I'm striving to become more like Ivan in that interview. He's out there leading by example, giving us, I mean, there's just so much to learn. Try to refine ourselves to encountering these situations at the best of our abilities and less of the defective wiring we've accumulated through our walk here. It behooves me. I don't get it how we can't even agree to disagree anymore. This is a pretty good reminder. If American citizens were asked to assist in removing oath violating Congress members, would you pitch in? I damn sure would. It's far past time to take out the trash. To make this perfectly clear, here it is in black and white. Oath of office contains the words, quote, "I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic," end quote. This oath is required by the U.S. Constitution and prescribed by law. All members of the House and or Senate that support illegal aliens over U.S. citizens are in violation of their oath of office, should therefore be removed from office. It's really that simple. You know, as black and white as it was right there, the reality of many of these House and Senate individuals, it's not just over the invasion that infringes upon their oath. They breach this oath on the daily in so many ways. I should have queued up what even happened here in Arizona, but it seems as though they want to give these illegals a backdoor on voting where we didn't pass the verification. Only U.S. citizens should be allowed to vote in the U.S. polls. Period. Full stop. Anyone that is getting in the way of some type of proof of citizenship in our election for our country should literally be investigated under treason. Period. Let's get this out there. If enough of us take that stance, take strong words like that, then dang it, we are the freaking law. We, the people. I think this is the image we're going to be using for this episode. But our rules for the government, we the people, basically a singular document. But the government's rules for us, the laws and regulations, that's all. Why are we allowing that? Why? It is time to clean house. Our government clearly can't even do its one freaking job to secure this country from any threats, foreign and domestic. They themselves are our greatest threat of we the people. That has been clear. We've covered that 7 ways to Sunday. This is a powerful clip. Oh my gosh, we got some pretty heavy hitting stuff, folks. I hope you're ready for some more, because this is just more fuel to the fire so we can build more of the momentum and get behind, bring more people into the know, It's crucial that we seize this moment today. Once again, yesterday's already passed. Tomorrow hasn't arrived. It's right here, right now. And we have an opportunity to let our voices be heard. We have an opportunity to spread these messages when they're hot, when we need them out there. So above all, let's just do our best. Let's even one up from where we were yesterday and do better than yesterday in getting this very message out there and more like it. By doing that singular very action, that is the beginning of the shift we so desperately need. And the more we get behind and do things like that, we're just going to be that much more excited to take the next step and the next step. So let's go. I freaking love you guys. We have such an amazing opportunity right now in this day and age. The rulers have had far too much control over every aspect of our lives, every aspect. And we've been so blind, so blindly entrusting. Like it's insane to me. I'm guilty. We are all guilty to a degree. My hat's off to them. But check this out. Once again, only got so much time to really put into gathering all this info. I mean, so much goes on behind the scenes here. It's ridiculous. But to pull out the dates, I mean, black and white footage and who this individual is, and it's just cool to see that folks understood the value of certain ideals and words all throughout history. And it's kind of like the Bible, some words and concepts and ideals don't increase or lose value. It surpasses like time and space. Give this a listen. This is very powerful.
A democracy is a political system in which the people periodically, by majority vote at the polls, select their rulers. The rulers then have absolute power to make whatever laws they please by majority vote among themselves. In a constitutional republic, the people also, by majority vote at the polls, select rulers who make laws by majority vote among themselves. But the rulers cannot make any laws they please because the Constitution severely restricts their lawmaking power. The ideal of a democracy is universal equality. The ideal of a constitutional republic is individual liberty. In this century, great strides have been made toward the goal of subverting our republic and transforming it into a democracy. The foremost tactic of the subverters is subversion of language. By calling America a democracy until people thoughtlessly accept and use the term, totalitarians have obscured the real meaning of American principles of government. Writers of the Constitution were anxious to safeguard liberty against dictatorship, monarchy they called it. But their chief anxiety was to protect the country against democracy. Edmund Randolph, delegate to the Constitutional Convention from Virginia, said the general object of the convention was to provide a cure for the follies and fury of democracy. Elbridge Gerry and Roger Sherman, delegates from Massachusetts and Connecticut, urged the Constitutional Convention to create a system to eliminate the evils that flow from the excess of democracy. Alexander Hamilton, delegate from New York, said, "We are now forming a Republican government. Real liberty is not found in democracy. If we incline too much to democracy, we shall soon shoot into a monarchy." John Adams, one of the giants of the American Revolutionary period, said, "Democracy will envy all, contend with all, endeavor to pull down all. And when by chance it happens to get the upper hand for a short time, democracy will be revengeful, bloody, and cruel."
Wow.
America was founded not as a democracy, but as a constitutional republic. We pledge allegiance to the republic, for which our flag stands, not to a democracy. The Constitution requires a republican form of government for all states, but does not mention democracy, and neither does the Declaration of Independence or the Bill of Rights. Someone asked him what kind of government the convention had given America, and Franklin replied, "A republic, if you can keep it." Very old and very wise, Franklin
Yes.
saw through the mists of time to the day when Americans might trade their freedom in a constitutional republic for the promise of government guaranteed equality and security in a democracy. And beyond that, to the day when democracy inevitably degenerates into dictatorship, guaranteeing nothing but poverty and serfdom for the people it robs and rules.
Wow. If you can keep it. It seems we have entirely lost it. And as you could see, just as he stated, who now entirely is suffering? It's we the people, not the globalists, not the rulers. There's a reason why they want this shift. They don't care about us. I cannot believe so many are blind to that and feel like they do. So there was a powerful word used in that clip: liberty. Liberty, the condition of being free from confinement, servitude, or forced labor. The condition of being free from oppressive restriction or control by a government or other power. A right to engage in certain actions without control or interference by a government or other power. We've lost and have been losing our liberty for some time. And it boils my blood because there's something I also would like you to think about. Your grandfather, my grandfathers, their grandfathers did not sleep in foxholes in faraway land, clutching a picture of our grandmothers so we would surrender our guns, so we would give up our liberties, so we would give up our republic. I know a lot of you are standing strong, but for those that don't get it, and part of me, this is where we got to be honest with ourselves. But we have the opportunity to totally shift it around. And it uses very powerful, negative words. You pathetic, weak-minded fools. I'll admit, I've been pathetic, weak-minded, and a fool. That I didn't see this sooner, that I didn't tune in sooner, and we're all paying the price for that. We must acknowledge that. Through our own accountability and being responsible, and acknowledgement gives us a solid foundation to push up off of and fix things. Let's do that. Let's no longer be pathetic, weak-minded fools. Let's challenge everyone around us to do that as well. I know some very strong individuals that won't openly say or nor acknowledge that we live in a wartime, that war is being waged on our family as we speak. It is from many different angles. So much warfare is happening. We can't even go after and end the missiles in this arena, and then the landfills in this one, and there's so many. We have to go directly after the root of corruption to end it. It would be a losing battle to singularly go after the chemtrails. It would be a losing battle to singularly chase around all these weapons labs and biowarfare. It would be a losing battle to singularly try to take out the bad frequency devices from HARP to those other stations to 5G. I'm telling you, folks. Now, you can build up your own personal testimony on that, whether it's the research is done. There's thousands of scientists that back it, and it's harmful on a cellular freaking level. And our devices are not getting faster. On the contrary, they've gotten slower. It's admitting a whole different thing they're not freaking telling us about, which is devastating. We could continue on with the different angles and the food and the water and all these things, but you get the point. We're dog chasing its tail. We must go after the corruption. Because when the corruption's gone and we have the proper checks and balances in place, where we can instill a little bit of trust that things are being done, but we're the checks and the balance. We need to ensure that they are fulfilling what we put them in to fulfill. And at the point they're not, we are to next. You're done. They don't respect us. What is it going to take for our own government to respect we, the people? That's what must be done. They don't have to love us or care about us. They got to respect us because we can replace them. That's what it boils down to. And it's not that we can, we will replace them. No one's meant to have a lifelong career in these positions of service. They're service positions for we, the people. And if they don't respect that, they do not belong in those positions. Period. On individual levels, we've been taught to avoid talking about politics and religion, and it has led to a lack of understanding of politics and religion. What we should have been taught was how to have a civil conversation about a difficult topic. Amen to that. What happened to that? Now, I'd venture to say, in ways, we kind of were taught. In ways, we used to be able to engage in that more and more. But as I look, I don't know about you, but as I look at my walk here throughout my span, it's just progressively gotten worse. And I personally believe it to be, a level of brainwashing and faulty wiring and character defects in the schooling system and things of that nature. But I solely do believe us to be very resilient creatures naturally by God, to where we would naturally mature and get better and better and better, because we would realize the outcome of a full-blown argument, and to where things are thrown, and it's just, that wasn't a productive outcome. Could we wisen up and not do that anymore? And we just naturally would progress to where we could effectively have these conversations. And that's why we have it Unmuzzled Chat, because we want to fulfill chat, like kind of the abbreviation of a conversation. And to the point, people are just resorting to 4-letter words and throwing things. Conversation's over. It's really no longer a conversation, or someone dominantly, it's just them. They're not listening. They're not seeking to understand. Conversation over. So I solely feel that a lot of it actually boils down to all the levels of attack that has diminished our bandwidth and our abilities. And there's some underlying issues that we're not quite putting our finger on well enough. And I believe it to be inflammation in our bodies that is triggering the fight or flight response. So we get too spooled up. Because I've seen people get spooled up over events and situations where they're naturally, who would lose their stuff over that? People in line at a grocery store over someone that just kind of stepped in front of them or something. Like, it's the most ridiculous things, I believe, gives proof that to an extent, we've already been hacked and we've been diminished. So you can tune into a lot of the other episodes we have, prior episodes where we go into in depth things we believe folks could do to up their resilience and calm their systems down and achieve more bandwidth and a higher percentage of health, which will naturally get you to this point. You don't need, if you just singularly focused on being psychological whiz, doesn't matter. The point you can, your system isn't operating to par. You're going to have these deficiencies. Your patience is going to wane. It's time we see things a little more clearly. Just like this, the conspiracy theorists who warned you about vaccine mandates, vaccine passports, perpetual lockdowns, uncontrolled inflammation were right. And now they're warning the masses about digital ID, social credit, central banking digital currency, climate lockdown, energy rationing, and there's many more. It's tyrannical control. So how do we clean this up? That's why I'm so excited with what Ivan shared. How about you? Let's get more of that information and calls to action, and let's be a part of that momentum. Whatever Unmuzzled Chat can do, we are at your service. Community, it's going to take all of us. Start leaving the comments, links to places. Let's start guesting on bigger platforms, everything. I'm relying on you. You could be relying. It's just all of us linking arms together. We're going to have that impact. Ooh, I'm so excited. I hope you are too. God bless you. I know we got this. Gosh, this gentleman does great. So for those that don't have enough to fuel them, well, let's dive into more of the hierarchy. This two-tiered system. Let this freaking fuel you. Hear this out.
Okay. You should cut that list out. Your reputation is you like to text underage girls, sending pictures of your dangling. That's your reputation.
He's talking to Anthony Weiner. Dare I say, his laptop was even worse, potentially, than Hunter's.
Whatever you do, you can't do anything about it. Bill Clinton officiated your wedding with Puma, your wife, if I'm not mistaken. Correct. So you've been very close, and she was a right-hand person to Hillary Clinton in 2016 while the scandal was taking place.
For years before that, she was with Hillary for, she's 20 years.
Email, 650,000.
Evil, man.
One folder with the word life insurance and the files that are in there. So 9 out of 12 cops, NYPD, who saw the email and saw what was in that laptop, committed suicide. And the most ever that
9 out of the 12 cops that got a hold of Anthony Weiner's laptop that had that's going to be for future episodes, but that implicated the Clintons and Hillary Clinton exclusively, and it is some of the most horrific, evil, sickening, disgusting things, even with children, you could even freaking imagine. One of these officers I remember reporting after watching, vomited, but 9 out of 12 of them get suicided. I'll say it. They didn't kill themselves. They got suicided. The list near the Clintons, it's like the Untouchables. There are hundreds of individuals that got close to the Clintons and ended up suicided. We all know this. Well, here we are. Is what it is. It's not something ideally to do, but it must be done. Because the reality of this platform, Unmuzzled Chat, we are not going to conform and fall in line and be cowards to tyrannical platforms. So I'm so sorry to disrupt this episode. This is specifically for the YouTube crowd an opportunity. We'd like to extend an invitation yet again to Rumble, a free speech platform. Come join us. We don't care your political views. We don't care your origins, all that freaking stats or whatever you want to freaking call it. Come join us. Have the conversations. View this episode and all further content in its entirety. There are bombshell episodes, like probably this one. You need to check this one and others out on Rumble. It's no secret. YouTube now has shown its colors. Freaking Nazi platform trying to control information, withhold information that could save lives. 100%. They don't care about you. They care about their funders and appeasing them. It's sad, but it just is the way it is. And I just sure hope through what I've even dealt with here and many other patriots and many other people using this platform for truthful information and have been censored. It's just, when is enough? Okay? Let's stand strong now. Come join us. There's amazing content. We're going to get to the bottom of things. We want to find out what in fact is truthful and helpful for our mental states, our physical states, just our well-being in general. And we can't do it on this platform, unfortunately. Now, there's been whispers that maybe Elon will buy the YouTube, buy Facebook, and liberate it, similar to what has taken place on X, formerly known as Twitter. Is it perfect? Is everything perfect? No. But we, the people, can support the ones on our behalf, like just by our views, clicks, likes, and we must stand strong on this. I sure hope you see the level of importance here and that we can unite. Let's create this community. Join us. Come on the podcast. Comment. Let's get things rocking and rolling. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you over there. God bless you.